Good morning, Creator Studio. You guys probably haven't met me. My name is Jim. I'm one of the owners of Income School. And today we're having you work on a special set of articles for our brand new website, suggestedbylocals.com. So what you're going to write, I'm going to show you my screen here. What you're going to write is 17 reasons not to move to X, and then in parentheses, voted by the locals. So that's going to be the title for all these articles, and the X can be any city that you're very familiar with. So probably your hometown city. Some of you served missions. If you did, you can do that if it's a city you know well. But it has to be a city that has enough search volume that we're going to get enough traffic from it. So I'd like it to be a city with at least 70,000 population. So either your home city, mission city, or one you know well. So if it's a cluster city, like Boise is Boise, Meridian, Nampa, Caldwell, Kuna, etc. If it's a cluster city, take just one of them it's at least 70,000. Because we could do one article on Boise, another one on Meridian, we could do one on Nampa. They're all over it. But, Meridian also kind of bleeds into Eagle and stuff. And so it's okay if you mention some of the outlying cities. But I'm just saying, if it's a larger area that we could get multiple articles out of, then just take one of them for now. But it's okay to mention one of the smaller ones if that makes any sense. Now, if you live in a massive city, LA, New York, maybe even, Dallas, something that kind of size, then probably just take a region of that city, whatever people would call that area of the city. The goal is that we're trying to get the smallest area that has a population of at least 70,000. Now, it's okay if it's 300,000 too. Just consider, should we break this up into multiple articles of regions of the city, or should we take it in gross? You can kind of make a decision, but those are the parameters that we're kind of looking at. So right now, at the start of your shift, go on social media. This is probably the only time I'm going to ask you to do this. Go on social media, go on Facebook, go on Instagram, wherever you are, and where you have the biggest audience, and ask your friends in that city, just like, what are the major reasons that you don't like living in this area? Some negatives to living here. Because the idea is we want these articles to have a voted by the locals kind of vibe. That you can use some of their information. I'd like you to use, a couple quotes from your friends of what they said about it. It's okay to take a screenshot of some of those, and you could put the screenshot in there. But just remember, as an image, Google can't read what the text is. And so post the text as well. But you might want to use it as an aesthetic element if you wanted to just have that social media post there as a screenshot. I'd like you to rank the items from least problematic to most problematic in the post. So it's going to be 17 reasons. And so it doesn't matter. Don't obsess over this, which is 8, which is 9. Just generally as you're doing it, make the least problematic stuff and then have all right, now we're getting to our number 1. This is the worst part about living in whatever city. So this is how we're going to structure the article. Listen careful to this. The first paragraph, I want you to immediately tell me your credential. So for example, it could be, I've lived in Boise, Idaho since I was in middle school. I've lived in 8 different houses throughout the Treasure Valley. I can tell you exactly what's wrong with this. So first paragraph, your credential. Second paragraph, I'd like you to include just kind of building up what you did in the article. I surveyed a bunch of people that live in the city, and I've gathered their information to rank all these from worst to best. Okay, then we're going to start the article, right? So there's no need for an answer target. We're just going to have those 2 introductory paragraphs, and then each subheadings essentially are the answer target. You don't need to write a paragraph style answer target because this is a list post. So each one of these list items, think about what goes in the subheading. We want it to be fairly short so that Google could grab just the subheadings to be an answer, a featured snippet. So keep them fairly short. and don't use loose language in there. Try to explain them in a simple way. Now, I've written down a whole bunch of example reasons so that you just don't have to think about this more. But really, the essential question that you're asking yourself is, think of some other cities other than this one that I'm writing about. What do they have that this city doesn't? And we're taking this, and then we'll write about the things that this doesn't have or doesn't do well. We're taking the perspective of somebody who's interested in moving to your city, and you're trying to tell them the pros, or not the pros and cons. You're tell them the negatives of why you might not want to move there. Now, this is a negatives article. It's reasons not to move to that area. But at the same time, don't torch the city throughout the article. It's okay in the paragraph of some of the subtext to just mention, but it is this, it does have this. The goal is not to say the city is terrible. The goal is just make people aware of where they may be moving into. So I'm going to give you this, and now it's time to start.